Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today, super excited to bring you along for this. Okay, it's November. It's been apple season for a while, but I'm just now getting to my apple pie filling. So I haven't done apple pie filling in a couple of years, and I've got one jar left in the pantry, and so I want to get that on the shelf because a 7 quarts lasts me about 2 years. Sometimes 3, but mostly 2 years. That's 7 apple dumb cakes, that's 7 apple cobblers, crunch, apple crisp, that's 3.5 pies. All right, the big apple pies, you need 2-quart jars. So I am using the recipe, and I feel like this, for pie filling, these guys are pretty spot on. This is the Amish canning cookbook, okay? So it's got a bunch of different pie fillings, and I will use the pages. They have some sticky on them. Oops. Anyways, so apple pie filling, 6 quarts of tart apples, and I've got Granny Smith and Honey Crisp because Honey Crisp always goes on sale. It's such a delicious snap of flavor. It's really, really good. I do it in my applesauce, but I did use, and I've got my apples all prepped. I did use some Granny Smith in here. And actually, as a child, these were my favorite apples. So they're still one of my very, very favorites for pie and for eating, and yes, delicious. So you need 6 quarts of apples peeled and wedged into, like you would have in a pie. All right, 1.5 cups, 5.5 cups of sugar, which I already have measured out. 1.5 cups of clear gel or cornstarch. So I have clear gel. This is a modified cornstarch. It's suitable for canning, and I love it for the pie fillings because even like I could show you, and maybe I'll bring it in, the last jar of the apple pie filling, some of that cornstarch is broken down over time, but it goes right back into shape when you cook with it. So it's actually holds up to the cooking process, where cornstarch will not hold up long term. So there you go. Cinnamon, nutmeg. I'm gonna use cinnamon, ground cardamom, and allspice because that's what I like in my apple pie. And you need 2.5 cups of water, or use apple juice for more flavor, and 5 cups of apple juice. So we're gonna use the whole container of organic apple juice. And then whatever, I don't know, if I need to add a little bit of water, I will. And of course, this canning project is being brought to you by, well, actually not, but it is, I'm gonna be using 4 jars lids because that is my lid of choice. That's what I use exclusively right now. There's a link down below where you can get 4 jars lids in bulk. This little box right here holds 100 wide mouth lids. So you can have, in very little space, store hundreds of lids, and you'll always have them. You'll never be in short. And if you go down there, there's a link or a coupon code, Linda's Pantry, all one word, no apostrophe, and it'll get you 10% off your complete order. Their prices are spot on and competitive, and they beat the competitors by quality for sure. So that being said, we're gonna get to this. You're also gonna need some lemon juice, 5 cups of apple juice plus the 2.5 cups of water, or whatever we replace it with, and 3/4 of a cup of bottled lemon juice with 5% acidity. So that's the recipe. That's super easy. I'll try to take a little picture of this recipe, and let's bring you in and I'll show you. You have to mix that the clear gel and the sugar together at the same time, all right? And then it's asking us to wash and peel, core the apples, all that. And I did put, to keep them from darkening, because I prepped these yesterday. To keep them from darkening, I put fruit fresh on them. Or you could put, lemon juice, whatever you'd like, but I did fruit fresh. Or you can use absorbic acid dissolved in a gallon of water and keep them in there. I just do or lemon juice and water. So we're gonna blanch the sliced apples in batches, placing them into a gallon of boiling water for 1 minute, removing apples. Drain and place them in covered pot to keep them warm. Combine sugar and clear gel, spices, and other things into a large pot and the apple juice, and cook them on medium-high heat, stirring constantly until mixture. So you're going to combine sugar, clear gel, and spices in another large pot and add the water and apple juice and cook over medium heat, stirring constantly until mixture thickens, begin to bubble. Then to the pot of hot liquid, add the lemon juice and for a minute. And so it's not telling you when to add the apples. So I'm gonna boil the apples in the pot with the liquid, and we'll start it that way, and then we'll add our sugar and our we'll add the lemon juice. They call for the lemon juice last, but I'll add the sugar. Oh, and stirring constantly, fold in the apples. Dang it, I was gonna do it the other way around. Anyway, that's okay. No worries, no harm, no foul. We'll do it as directed. So in this pot is gonna go the apples. And like I said, I used Honeycrisp apples. All right, in the pot, and this is a 12-quart pot. 12-quart pot. And I'm gonna do it a little bit different than they're calling for. I'm still going to cook that with the apple juice. I'm gonna measure that out, and any water I might need, and I'm gonna blanch that right in the juice. It'll be fine, and I'll scoop the apples back out and put them in these to hold them until I'm ready for the rest of it. Okay, you got that? Okay, come on. And the filling, and I've got my water bath canner, my Fresh Tech. I have an Amazon link, an Amazon store down below. You can go in there, and that Fresh Tech canner is in there. It's been one of my best purchases. So all 7-quart jars are in there, sterile and staying hot, because we're gonna need them hot because this stuff is hot. Okay, let's get to getting these apples all ready to go. So 7.5 cups of apple juice / water. Okay, so we're gonna add the clear gel while the apples are cooking. We're gonna add that to the mix. 1.5 cups. This is a 1/2 cup measure. And this is just like cornstarch, feels like cornstarch, looks like cornstarch. It's just modified a little bit differently. And then we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice. So I'm gonna put that over here. I don't need that mess. And I'll try to leave a link to where you can get this clear gel. It lasts on the shelf. I keep it in one of my modular mates out in the garage. It lasts for years. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and mix this in with the sugar. That will keep it from clumping up so badly. If that makes sense. Anytime, when you're using a thickening agent, if you mix it in with, like if you're doing jams or jellies and you're mixing your pectin up, mix it in with if you can, if it allows, mix it with your sugar first. If it's a powdered pectin that you can do that with. Gonna make a mess, I can tell you. It never fails. Cornstarch is that beast. Okay. And now that I have made a mess, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my spices right in here. And I love allspice. I really only want like shy of a teaspoon of that, because it's got clove and all kinds of goodies in it. But it makes such a flavorful pie. Oh my gosh, once you've had it, you're not gonna wanna go back. I put this in and then cinnamon, it only calls for a teaspoon. And then I add cardamom, because cardamom adds another little bit of a floral note. So, we gotta get this shaker off. Or we'll just eyeball. There we go, right there. Just shy of a teaspoon. So there's that. right there, and put that in there. We'll get this mixed up. And then we know everything's in there, right? And it's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful pie filling. One of the prettiest pie fillings you'll have. Anyway, okay, as soon as these apples come up to a boil, they really only have to blanch for a minute. Honestly, I have dumped in everything together, and I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play Rebel, and I'm gonna, as soon as those blanch for a minute in that juice, and I used all of it because some of it will evaporate, but I used that whole thing. You didn't need quite that whole half gallon of juice, but I used it all. It doesn't matter. We'll have, if we have extra pie filling or extra, it'll be fine. The real key with this pie filling technique and using the clear gel, filling the jars to 1.5 inches of headspace. If you go over, you are gonna have too much. Okay, so these apples are hot. I'm gonna add my 3/4 of a cup of bottled lemon juice, and that's done. That way that can heat up, and as soon as this comes up, because it's already cooking the apples, you know, trust me, they get plenty soft for apple pie. Oh my gosh. And I was thinking about it, this is the way I've done it in the past, so this actually works out very well. And I will bring, I'll go out there and try to find that jar, so when I show you the end product, I can show you what it looks like 2 years later, or it might have been 3 years, but I think it's 2. I believe it's 2. So I've got this burner on high, and it's just about to come back up to a boil here. And we're gonna put our clear gel in and our sugar. And be very mindful how you do it, because you're gonna get modified cornstarch smoke. Perfect. Okay, now this is where you really have to keep stirring, because it is going to try to clump and carry on, but we're not going to let it. We're going to get it all mixed in. See how nice that mixed in? Now we're going to bring that up to a boil, and we're going to get this ready to jar up. It's going to thicken pretty quickly too. Once it decides to, it goes pretty fast, and you're going to have literally a gel, just like apple pie filling. So don't worry about that. We're good with that, and it's going to be a pretty color. It'll go from being cloudy and opaque. I don't know if you can see that, where the liquid is cloudy and kind of opaque color. It'll go more clear and absolutely beautiful. I'm super excited. Okay, we're just gonna keep stirring along, and I'll bring you back as soon as this thickens. I'll bring you over to the counter, and we'll get to jarring it up. And like I said, we're gonna do 7-quart jars. I probably have a few extra apples and a little bit extra sauce, so I might make a mini dessert or a mini pie tart. I don't know, I haven't decided. But whatever it is, it's gonna be great. Guys, it's time to jar it up. And this bubbled until it got thick for about a minute. And now you can see how thick that is. Can you see how thick that gel got? It's fantastic. So we're gonna work quickly at getting these jars filled. Oh my gosh. And we wanna make sure, like I said, 1.5 inches of headspace. This might need more gel, less apple. And when I do have my debubbling tool. What happens, the reason you need such a big headspace is because this swells tremendously. So I am going to pull out. And these apples are soft. They got soft in the process. I want 1.5 inches of headspace, not an inch. So, oh, I'm gonna pull out another small apple slice here. Okay, now I'm comfortable with that, okay? And 1.5 inches of headspace, here we come. Done deal. Isn't that pretty? Look how beautiful that is. And you can get in there and debubble and do all that. You're not gonna have much luck with a lot of it though. Just saying. Just want a little bit more of that sauce. Okay, wipe that rim. Get a lid. Now I did put hot water with these lids. I admit it. And I've got my rings over here, so, you know, trying to be organized doesn't always work. Whew, that's hot, hot, hot. Finger tight, that's it. Going in the canner, but look how gorgeous this apple pie filling is gonna be. Who doesn't want some of that? Okay, put that in the water bath canner and wait for the rest of the kids coming out. And I empty the jars, you know, I've got them full of water, but you're not gonna want that quite as full. So we're gonna rinse and repeat. And it's kind of, you kind of go, oh my gosh, it's so thick. That's okay, that's what you want. Look how thick. And I've got my debubbling tool to help me out. And you can, if you want your apple pie filling in chunks instead of wedges, I just prefer mine to look just like when I make it from fresh, which to me, this is, why would I do that if I can do this? And I've got 3.5 pies made in advance, or 7 other desserts, right? Give me some keep bubbling, and I'm just gonna stick that in there. It's making a mess over here. Okay. And we'll grab 1 piece of apple to make the medicine go down. Not too bad. And wipe that rim. 1.5 inches of headspace, right? I know I struggled with it, but you don't want a jar to fail, because it'll fail your jar if you fill it up too full. I had 1 jar out of some, I think it was rhubarb, that failed. And doggone it, we had to eat dessert that night. Oh, yeah, yummy. Okay, get me another jar. Hot jars, woo, coming through. Hot, hot, hot. And I like to keep 2 or 3 of them out ready to go. Then they're not so hot I can't touch them, but they're tempered with the heat for the pie filling to be just fine. Just fine to get that in there. Look at that. Oh. My mouth is watering. Now I want apple pie something. I want apple dessert. That's what I want. Get my debubbler here. Get those apples all down in there. I think I need a little bit more sauce. Okay. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Wipe that rim. Get me a lid, a 4 jars lid. 4 jars. Thank you, 4 jars, for being such a great company for us and to allow the canners out there to experience a quality lid again. Yum. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of these up. And these are, they're gonna can in that water bath canner. Once it comes up to a full, get everybody loaded, comes up to a full rolling boil. For my altitude, it's 25 minutes for pints or quarts, either one. So you could do this in pints, but why? You're gonna use it. Okay, so I'm on the last jar, and I did want to talk about a couple of things. I mean, you get this thick, ooey gooey deliciousness. And honestly, overdo your apples. Use the whole thing of juice. You're not gonna waste anything. Literally, I think this comes out exact. Look, I might have a little bit for dessert. Some apple. That's it. Seriously. Okay. And I have enough for a nice dessert for probably 2 people, but that's it. And that's because I did an extra apple just to be on the safe side. Let's put that one out. Yeah, there we go. But your clear gel and your liquid ratio is perfect. And this gel, I'm just gonna tell you, the cardamom is my secret. Everybody asks, ooh, what's that flavor? And I do that in my apple butter. I also do it, and see, it's 1.5 inches of headspace. Don't get greedy on the headspace. You'll regret it. This way it comes out perfect. And so once the water bath cannery, put 1 inch to 2 inches. Actually, I do want one more little apple in there. 1 to 2 inches above the jars, and you're good to go. Once it starts boiling, you start your timer. And these jars are still extremely hot. This really holds the temperature quite a long time, but you're totally okay to do it the way I just did. Now, sometimes some of these recipes give you extra steps, but I'm telling you, I just looked back on my other videos, and this is how I do it. So, and it comes out perfect. Okay, in the canner she goes, and we'll be back when that's all done, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay guys, it is time to take these out of the canner. So once they do the 25 minutes, I turn the canner off, take the lid off, and let it sit here for 5 or 10 minutes. And oh my goodness, oh my gracious. Do not tip your jars. Try really hard. That water's gonna evaporate, but look at how beautiful. And the headspace changed. It's all the way up. It swells all the way up. So that's why you do 1.5 inches. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so if I have any jars, I'm gonna do a post-canning chat on this. And I have the, when I do the post-canning chat, I'll bring the other apple pie filling in for that. I didn't put vinegar in the water. I don't like to do that because I like to use this water to water the garden, the plants, whatever I need to water. So I'm not wasting water. I let it just cool down overnight. But isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful, beautiful apple pie filling for the pantry. And I don't know if you've priced apple pie or cherry pie or any of the berry pie fillings at the store. A can of it, and I think you need 3 cans for a pie. It's like $12 or something. It's for all 3 cans. So that being said, I'm taking all 7 quarts out of here. We'll do a post-canning chat and see if everybody's sealed. And if we have some that didn't seal, I'll let you know and we'll figure it out. But I have a little apple crisp in the oven, and the water is a little bit murky, which means we might have had some siphoning, but I don't let that discourage me on pie filling because typically they seal anyway. So we're just gonna let this cool down all the way, and look at 7 beautiful, and maybe I won't use this to water the plants because they may not like cinnamon and all that, but I'm gonna let this cool down, put the lid on it so the steam isn't, you know, when I'm water bath canning, I put the vent holes away from my cabinets. You gotta keep all those things in mind. But beautiful jars of apple pie filling for the pantry shelves, and a little mini pie pan with an apple crisp in it. So I'll get pictures of this and the apple crisp in the morning or tomorrow afternoon. So I can attach it to this video and hopefully give you a pretty thumbnail. All right, guys, I'm super excited about this. I have apple pie filling for the next couple of years, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about going to the grocery store and having the price be jacked up because of who knows what, and you don't have enough to make a pie. That one jar of apple pie filling, or one can, is not going to do a pie. You need like 3 to have a lofty pie. So, and that's with a crumb topping or with a pie crust topping. So guys, go down below, check the 4 jars link, and leave me a comment. Did you do apple pie filling this year? And let me know if you did anything different, and how much you put up on your pantry shelf, and what other things do you use other than apple crisp, apple pie? You know, you can have this over ice cream and it's fantastic. You can put this over waffles and enjoy a really fun dessert. So, just saying. All right. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.